A good piece of smoked fish has a thick, fat back. The best in America, in my opinion, is made by Acme Smokefish Company in Brooklyn. It's marketed under several different brand names, but you can usually find manufactured by Acme written somewhere on the package. This one is about 2 pounds. I suggest you keep a plastic bag handy and put the bones and waste in there. Tie it tightly and dispose outside when finished, since it will quickly get very smelly in your regular garbage. Start with the fins and use a scissor. It's much easier than a knife. Once the fins are removed, there's a small hidden bone at the bottom of each gill. Snip that little bone out of there on both sides. Then you can put a knife in and cut behind the gill up to the top of the head on both sides, and just break the head off by bending it backwards, and no meat is lost. Now you've got to open it up from the bottom, enough to get a knife to reach the spine inside, prying slowly and carefully and leaving the skin on so the fish doesn't fall apart. The object is to score right along both sides of the spine to break those pin bones loose from the spine. That way you'll be able to take all the bones out by pulling that membrane off from the inside. All the bones should come off at once, right along with the membrane. Just cut enough to score it. Don't cut too deep. See where it's separating as you keep prying and breaking it loose and scoring. Now start peeling the skin back from the bottom of the gill. That's usually the easiest place. Now that we're done on the inside, you can take the skin off and the fish won't fall apart. You don't have to start at the bottom of the gill. You can peel the skin off from wherever it's loosest and easiest. If the skin is stuck somewhere, just go to another area and peel it from there. Position the fish with the open belly section facing you. Remove the upper belly section of meat so you can see the inside of the lower belly section. Starting with the upper belly section, again, at the bottom of the gill is usually the easiest place to start. Just peel the membrane out and all the bones should come off with it. Make sure you've separated that spine. You might have to cut a little more. Slide your fingers under the membrane to help break it loose from the meat. Also, slide your fingers along the meat and you'll feel any bones that are left. There, see? That membrane comes off with all the bones. Finish by removing the belly meat from the other half of the fish. Then there's a line of fat right along the top between the loins that needs to be removed. Carefully separate the loins and pull one side loose. The loin should come off cleanly with no bones. One final check for bones by rubbing your hands and another beautiful piece is ready for a tray. Then carefully separate the spine from the other loin and peel the loin away. And there we go, yet another beautiful piece ready for a tray. Lastly comes the tail meat. The tail being thinner, it has a smokier flavor, so it's going to be best for a dip. Cut and peel the tail meat off, just like we did for the loin meat. And there we go. All the meat off the spine, no meat on the spine, no bones in the meat. Peel any meat off the gill bones and collect any other meat scraps that may be left. Square trim the loin and belly pieces and slice them to fit in a plastic storage container. Layer with some wax paper to prevent them from sticking, and you can store them in the refrigerator or freezer. Chop up the pieces that are left to make a dip, so nothing goes to waste. I'm going to post the classic New York Deli smoked whitefish dip, the old Florida smoked Marlin spicy dip, and real New York bagels from the Union bakeries of the 1950s and 60s soon. So please subscribe and you won't miss the enjoyment.